of Education, April 25th, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. Cindy, could you please call the roll?
Dremel,
Here.
Kilber,
Here.
Locke,
Here.
Lowe,
Present.
Mathis,
Here.
Meadows,
Present.
Meitzler,
Here. And Mrs. Meisler, would you please lead us in the pledge? Dr. Hitchens, are there any items removed from or added to or changed to our agenda tonight?
We just have one public comment, so we're gonna do that first. And
All right.
So we're gonna move that agenda item to the front here.
All right, so welcome to the Board of Education meeting, everyone. If anybody wants to address the board, I know we have Dan Russo here tonight. Please see our recording secretary. We'll have you fill out the form with your name and address so that we can keep our detailed set of minutes. I'm just going to hand it over to Holly Deachman so she can explain to you our process.
Thank you, President Dremel. Speakers will be called up in order of form submission. The first form received, which we only have one tonight, is the first invited to speak. When your name is called, please come to the podium so that you can be heard. You'll be limited to 3 minutes. A 3-minute timer will be shown on the screen, so you'll have so you can be mindful of your time. At any time during the meeting, written comments may be submitted to our recording secretary, Cindy Rodriguez, at my right. Speakers should conduct themselves with civility and respect toward others. And our one and only public speaker is Daniel Russo.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Russo, the retired LRC director at Batavia High School, and this is National Library Week and School Library Month. And the theme of this year's celebration is There's More to the Story. And I want to just talk very briefly about librarians in that story. When you think about libraries, you probably think about books, shelves of books, but that's something lifeless. A librarian is the person that brings those books to life. A librarian sees displays, contests, book lists, author visits, and the librarian's most important tool is the book talk. In the book talk, you pick out tantalizing details. You build to the critical moment, and then you stop. And if you're lucky, a week later, a student's going to come into the library and say, "Do you have another book like that one?" And if you're really lucky, a student's going to say, "This book was not too bad, but do you have another one like it?" And the librarian then knows that that a possible reluctant reader is turning into a dedicated reader. Now, some people think about technology when they think about libraries. Libraries have always been big on technology, and when I started, the librarian's job was to get the light on the VCR to stop blinking. But today, librarians partner with classroom teachers. They work together to integrate technology, and they do it in a framework of information literacy skills, so students learn how to use media efficiently and responsibly. Today, their tools include 3D printers, podcast makers, and of course, an endless array of apps. I know my time is short. I'd love to go on, but I want to leave you with 3 ideas. Number 1, librarians have one of the biggest classrooms in the school, and that classroom never closes because of its online presence. Number 2, librarians have the biggest teaching load in the school because they work with all of the students and all of the staff. Most importantly, number 3, because of that big, beautiful classroom, and because they know everyone in the school, librarians build community. Everyone is welcome, supported, invested, and everyone learns. Please visit your library. You'll discover there's more to the story. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. The next item on our agenda is our consent agenda, which is an opportunity for us to pass a number of routine business items with one vote, all of which are outlined in the board book. So I'm going to ask Mr. Pierce to walk us through there.
Thank you. 3.1 and 3.2 is the approval of the March 21st, 2023 meeting closed session minutes. 3.3 is our personnel report. You'll notice there is a lot of hires on there. I'm like to give a little shout out to all of our different interview teams, our principals, and special shout out to our special ed department. We have seen significant challenges in hiring our special ed personnel over the years, and to be where we are in April is absolutely incredible. I think that our initiative to kind of get started on this early has been massive, and we are in as good a shape with hiring as we've been in many, many years. So we're really excited about that. 3.4 is our payroll and bills. 3.5 is our donations. We have 3 sizable donations from the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, as well as Beefy, and we appreciate that. 3.6 is the classroom use agreement with Mid-Valley. 3.7 is a textbook that is on display. 3.8 is the canvas of our votes, or of the votes, and 3.9 is the award of copy paper and elementary student school supplies bid. Lastly, 3.10 is the approval of this consent agenda.
Any items for clarification or removal? All right, then I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Meitzler, second by Kilberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item on our agenda is our standard reports. I'll hand that over to Dr. Hitchens.
I will call up Josh Bulak for the next 2 action items, but while he's coming to the podium, do you have any questions about those reports that you see every month?
All right, then we will move right into our action. Josh, if you take us through those 2 items.
All right, so the first one is a request to transfer equipment to Batavia, specifically Rotolo, from Batavia Youth Football. So back in 2019, a committee met, it was 80s, I was one of the 80s at the time, football coaches, and we looked at the landscape of football in Batavia. And the way it was structured, we had an 8th grade team only, and the decision was made to transition 8th grade football to Batavia Youth Football. That way there were less stops along the path of playing football. After 3 years of looking at that, there's been some successes, but there's also been some challenges. And a group of ADs and coaches met and talked about it, and really one of the biggest pieces of it is who we play now. The local schools won't play Batavia Youth Football because they're not associated with the school. So the recommendation here is to transfer the equipment back to Rotolo, but not only the 8th grade program, but to start a 7th grade program. And that way we're in line with every school in this area so that we can play local school districts and the kids don't have to go on long bus rides to their competitions.
Any questions about this?
I'll just make a comment. My son played 8th grade football this year, and it was overall a very positive experience. But to Josh's point, scheduling was very problematic, and we ended up playing one school twice. And then even just because the games would kind of pop on the schedule like the week of, it would be challenging sometimes to get to the away game. So the way I'm kind of looking at this is access. Like, I'm sure there were some kids that had a hard time making some of those games. And so I think this is going to be a positive move.
It's been like that for years.
Yeah.
All right, well, then I would entertain a motion for the board to accept the transfer of ownership of 7th and 8th grade football equipment from Batavia Youth Football.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kilberg, second by Locke. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item, Josh.
All right, so the next item is the approval of a administrative service contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now, this typically doesn't happen at this time of year. So in September, the board approved all the healthcare packages for our employees. And one of the changes was to move from Blue Cross to HealthGram. And this committee did a lot of research and work to make sure that this was an appropriate move to better get quality care to our employees at quality costs and manage costs. After several months of being with this company, there's been some hurdles. And whenever you make a change, there's difficulties. But the difficulties here were literally if a staff member tried to go to Northwestern, they wouldn't take the insurance, even though it was registered under the insurance. Having that access denied or made more difficult is a stressor that the staff doesn't need. So typically, if there's an issue with healthcare, we'll try to, weather the storm, if you will, and at a natural time, make that transition in January. But what we were able to do was get out of our contract with HealthGram, if the board approves that, and then re-up with Blue Cross for the remainder of the year. So we're looking to reestablish our relationship with Blue Cross starting July 1st.
Thanks, Josh. Any questions for Josh?
I mean, I guess I'll speak to this one again because I'm on the insurance committee. I feel like I'm speaking way too much tonight. But I just want to commend Josh and the committee. They made a decision to go to HealthGram with the best intentions, and at the time on paper it made a lot of sense. And like Josh said, there was going to be some anticipated hurdles, but there were some unanticipated things. And so I think a credit to Josh and the members of the committee. They listened to the teachers and said, this isn't working. And when we found out there was an opportunity to go back without any penalty, and I will say, we had a meeting earlier in the year where we talked about a mental health program that we're implementing. That's intact. That's not changing. So really we're just kind of going back to something that people wanted in hindsight. And, there's still challenges ahead on managing costs. That's not going away. But I think in the short term, this is the right move. And my understanding is it's been enthusiastically received by the teachers. So that's always a good thing, too.
All right. I would entertain a motion that we approve an administrative services only contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield Illinois effective July 1st, 2023.
Second.
Moved by Meadows, second by Meitzler. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. The next item on our agenda is we're going to celebrate our ex-new members. And Mrs. Meitzler was going to celebrate our student rep.
I sure am. So Madeline View is exiting as a student ambassador with us, and I had the pleasure of being one of the board members that helped welcome Madeline onto our student ambassador position within the Board of Education. And from the time that you interviewed, I knew that you were special. And we have hundreds and hundreds of students who are special, thousands actually. Every one of our students is special. But Madeline, you really stood out in the crowd. And we could not be more thankful to you and more proud of the way you held this position. And this is a special position within the Board of Education. We only have 2 at a time. And so you're really the student voice. And that's why all of us are here. That's why each one of us has a position on the board is for the students. We're here for the students. And so we're super thankful for the connection that you helped us make as a direct line to the students. How you reported out each month about what was going on in the high school and beyond helped us have a better purview to our constituents as well as the students at the high school as well as the other schools. And I want to thank you very sincerely because you took time away from family, from work, from school, clubs, activities, and more to do the service to the community. And it is a service. And when I think about student servant leadership, I think about you. So thank you so much for everything you've done. The board has a little present for you. I'll meet you around. Thank you. But thank you so much. And best of luck to you.
Thanks, Erin. I don't know who I'm passing this off to.
I do have a little presentation for today as well. So this is just some current things that are going on in the school. So all spring sports have now started and are all going very well. Prom Spirit Week is next week, followed by prom on Saturday, May 6th. Most seniors have been announcing their amazing plans for next year, whether that be a 4 or 2 year university, the workforce, military, gap year, or any other plans they have. Clubs are wrapping up for the year and already planning amazing events for next year. And summer camp registration for sports are now open and accepting many student athletes to participate in the camps. And students are finishing the school year strong and getting ready for summer break. And then the other student ambassadors were not able to be here tonight, but these are some of their plans for next year. The student ambassadors will continue to be the voice for the student body and present current events in the district. We plan to continue to work with other schools in the district to make the education of students better and to bring the different schools in the district together. And then being the voice of the student body is very important to us, and we will continue to represent the student body as a whole. And then I prepared a little speech for tonight too, since it's my last night. So as my time as student ambassador comes to a close, I wanted to mention a few things I've enjoyed over the past 2 years and to thank the board and my principal, Dr. Smith, for the amazing opportunity. Over the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to learn about the Batavia School District, the way things work, and why they make the decisions they do in order for the district to function and to provide the best opportunities for all students. I have been able to work alongside my principal to solve issues going on within the district and create solutions to said issues for the betterment of the student body. I have also been able to work with the other student ambassadors and gain their perspectives on topics, which has also helped me broaden my horizon. I have learned amazing leadership skills as being the person who represents their student body and speaking for the students as a whole. I was able to be the voice for the students, which helped the board understand our perspective on what occurs in the school. As I continue my academic career at the University of Missouri, I will always remember the knowledge and experiences I have gained from being the student ambassador. Thank you.
Madeline, I was going to ask you where you were going to school, so thank you for answering that. And I did just want to add one more thing. I apologize. It takes a lot of courage to be in the position that you were in the last 2 years. And it's not easy coming to these board meetings as an adult, but as a student, I just really want to speak to that courage, and I hope that you find your voice throughout college and throughout your adult life. So thank you for being you, and thank you for being authentic. I feel it, and I'm thankful.
Thanks, Maddie.
All right, tonight we have two board meetings actually in one. Tonight is 2 meetings, and this meeting that is about to adjourn this is the last time this board will be together. So some of the board members have prepared remarks for the exiting board members. I'll start with Aaron.
All right. So I'm going to speak on behalf of Mr. Lowe here. So colleagues, staff, community, thank you for this opportunity. It is with appreciation and honor I have the opportunity to speak on behalf of my colleague and friend, Mr. Chris Lowe, as he prepares to leave public office as a member of the Batavia School Board. But before I begin speaking about Chris, I would like to recognize the other 2 outgoing members, Ms. Erin Meitzler and Ms. Kathy Dremel. I just want to thank them for your service to our community and your mentorship and your friendship. I know my children have benefited from your leadership, and it's been a real privilege to serve with you, so thank you. And I would also like to welcome the new board members who are in attendance in the audience, Ms. Danielle Sliger, Ms. Raquel Gonzalez-Thomas, and Mr. Rob Aralandu, and their families. I see some of them in attendance. As they prepare to be sworn in as new members, we're excited to work with you and face the challenges that are ahead, so thank you for that. So Mr. Chris Lowe, he is a recovering architect. You might have heard him say that before. He was elected by our community twice, in 2015 and 2019, and you might remember his campaign signs. They had a very catchy slogan, aim high and vote low. For 8 years, Chris has served with passion, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to our students. I would like to recognize his wife Jill and his children Quentin and Addie for the sacrifices they've had to make to allow Chris to serve. I know there's been a lot of nights where we've had a board meeting, and as soon as it's over, he's checking the score of a basketball game, a volleyball game, the results of a track meet, so he has definitely made sacrifices as well as they have. During his tenure, Mr. Lowe has served on the Capital Projects Committee, Curriculum and Assessment Advisory Committee, Resource Responsibility Advisory Committee, and has been an Illinois Association School Board delegate. Chris has been involved with the Student Ambassador Program. He has been a liaison at 6 different schools and has worked as both a booster and Park District liaison, to list just a few of the areas Chris has provided leadership. However, I believe Chris's greatest legacy may be 2 of his passions: amplifying voices and equity. Mr. Lowe has been a champion for anyone who feels excluded or is interested in having a greater voice in our community. Chris has been one of the driving forces in our district's evolving equity journey. His passion for creating a safe and inclusive environment throughout BPS 101, Batavia, and beyond is undeniable, and I have a feeling your work in this area has just begun, Chris. So I do have to say on a personal note, as the person who has sat to your right at every board meeting for the past 24 months, we've discussed about every topic you could imagine could come before this body. And there is a lot we've agreed on, and we've also had our fair share of disagreements. And sometimes they've been heated disagreements, but we've always been respectful to each other. We've always tried to listen, and we've always tried to understand. And because of that, we've been able to find common ground. And I know because of those conversations, I've grown as a person. So thank you for that. I look forward to the conversations we're going to have in the future. And so with that, your time serving here in this chamber is almost complete. So I just want to say thank you for your service. And I want to wish you and your family health, happiness, and success in whatever endeavors you choose to pursue next. Godspeed and be well.
Thanks, appreciate it.
His speech was special.
Well, after all those prepared remarks, I told Kathy I hadn't even written anything down because I've known Kathy for even before she was on the school board. Our kids both went to AGS together. So, I don't know, 15 years since we moved to Batavia, so 15 years. It's been a wonderful time serving on the board with you, and it's been truly an honor. I think you've served this district quite well in the last 12 years. It's been a pleasure. There's so many things that I would love to share, but I don't know that I can. As our text this afternoon mentioned, the thing I'm most proud of what we've done together as a board is, I think, giving Chromebooks to all the students. I think that was probably one of the best things that we've done as a board, and I don't know if you're going to mention that later, and I've stolen your thunder, but I think under your tutelage, we've done that, and it's been a great privilege for the students here to have. I wish you so well in any future endeavors. I know you've grown as a woman from where you've come. I remember sitting on the back patio at AGS during the flower sale. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes, that was the first time I met Sue, and she told me, I don't play nice with people.
With people. Yeah, here I sit.
Nice to meet you.
If you could, imagine if you could add up the volunteer hours between the two of us.
She plays a lot nicer than she says.
Yes, but all the volunteer things we have done, and I know there's a lot of people out there, it's all volunteers that make this possible. And that's what we all do. That's why we're here, to help the students.
That's what makes this district great.
That's what this district runs on, is people that just want to do best for the students, and that's what Kathy has done. So I wish you well, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
I can give you one.
Next.
RJ.
I'm next. I'm going to speak about, I'm sorry?
Is it okay? Wow.
Yeah, wow, you. So I do have some things written down here about Erin Meitzler. I requested the opportunity to say goodbye to Erin on behalf of the school board because of the impact that she's had on me. She's the one who initially got me on track to join the school board. She talked to me about the opportunity to impact the community and make the difference in lives of all the families in Batavia. So I'm always going to owe this rewarding part of my life to you, so thank you for that. Erin and her family moved to Batavia around 10 years ago, and she served the community ever since. Her list of volunteerism in the past years is more than I would imagine most people do in a lifetime. I've heard from a lot of people that volunteering can be a thankless job, so I'm going to thank you for some of the things that you've done. So bear with me, because this might take a minute. So thank you, Erin, for participating in the Batavia Foundation for Educational Excellence as a vice chair. Thank you for co-chairing the Batavia Interschool Council, for being the VP of the Music Buffs, acting as the liaison for Rotolo Middle School. Thank you for being a committee member for the BPS 101 Hall of Honor Committee, and for being a member of the 100 Women Who Care in Fox Valley. Let me scroll down. Thank you for serving as part of the Bulldogs Unleashed Auction Committee, co-chairing 100 Kids Who Care in Fox Valley, as well as being the co-chair of the 2018 Batavia October Family Day. Thank you for volunteering at HC Storm as a committee and chair member, and then as PTO president for 2 years, and for being the PTO executive on the executive board for 4 years. And not to mention that you've served the community for 4 years as a school board member and as a VP for the past year. Thank you for representing the school board at various committees over the past years. You've been representing us at PLAC, BIC, the Equity Commission, and with the Student Council or Student Ambassador representative. And I think I just want to thank you for being a great representative of the school board in general, and basically what being a great active citizen could be in Batavia. Every time I speak with you, you're positive and insightful. I know you put your family and your community before yourself. And I know that you've already volunteered to stick around with BIC as a co-chair member, so I know you're not going anywhere. Erin's gonna have children in elementary, middle, and high school next year, so I'm sure we will see you around. I don't think you're stopping anytime soon. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
The 3 exiting board members are going to make comments tonight. Chris, we can start with you.
Okay, last time you have to listen to me do this. Good evening. Wow, what a journey this has been. It's difficult to believe that I began volunteering in our schools 12 years ago. I began as a volunteer at Hooverwood School. I joined the PTO, worked my way up to PTO president. While there, I helped start the Watchdog program in our district, and a program that continues today. PTO opened doors for me to meet people across the community, some of whom encouraged me to run for school board. I looked into it and I was surprised to find out how easy it is to run for public office. Did you know that you can get on a ballot with as few as 25 signatures for some offices? I believe the number is 50 for school board. Considering we have around 25,000 citizens in Batavia, that's not a high bar for entry. Initially, I was surprised the community decided I may be a good leader and elected me to serve on this board. I have since learned imposter syndrome, for those who don't feel like they're part of the mainstream, is a very real thing. I have been honored to not only be elected once, but twice by this amazing city. While times haven't always been easy and the pay non-existent, I would not trade away the experiences I've had. I've made a conscious effort to get to know as many community members, parents, staff, and students as possible. I have made my best effort to speak with anyone who has concerns about our city or our district. I have done my best to answer questions and lead folks in the right direction to get the best resolutions for those concerns. I wanted to truly represent the people and do what's best for our children and our community. As things have been winding down these last few weeks on the board, I spent some time reviewing documents and emails I'd created during the last 8 years. In 2018, I created the idea to start a group to empower Batavians. A few of us gathered and talked about the ways that we can make Batavia a better place. Following the murder of George Floyd in 2020, that concept merged with the ideas of other community members and evolved into the Batavia Community Diversity Initiative. We have spent the past 3 years educating ourselves and the community and making our town more accessible, equitable, and welcoming. I began encouraging community members, staff, and students to use their voices to speak regarding equity concerns. Over the past few years, I have seen more folks reach out to our administration and board. I have seen an increase in emails, and we all have witnessed the stream of students, parents, and teachers who poured their hearts out about experiences they had in our district. While it may have been heartbreaking to listen to some of the stories, and I know it was difficult to share your pain, I want you to know you have made a difference. Local efforts have forced the district to acknowledge that we do have biases that prevent some students and groups from receiving the same opportunities without barriers that many of our students benefit from. We have used this information to try to do better, and the fact that we're even talking about it is evidence of that. While these efforts may not have been as successful as some would like, and we may not be seeing these benefits in all classrooms, we have made tangible strides to do better. We adopted an equity statement and created a space on our website for people to follow our equity journey. We provided training opportunities for staff. We created an equity committee and hired a consultant to help guide that committee. Equity concerns were a driving factor in the characteristics our community said they wanted in a new superintendent. As a result, we have hired Mr. Kim, who is inspired to continue our work. The voters have elected 3 diverse newcomers to the board in what I believe may be the first women of Latinx descent and the first man of Asian descent to represent our town. We are having conversations regarding inequity and bias that weren't even on the radar when I got on the board. As I said several years ago when we began this journey, this is a marathon, not a sprint. While progress may not be where some people would like to see it, it is plain to see we're in a better place now than we were just a few short years ago. Last week, I was asked what I'm most proud of having served on the Board of Education. While we may have accomplished a lot as a board, I take special pride in knowing I have empowered others to give their voice power. Knowing I have encouraged others to follow the chain of command, to make themselves vulnerable at board meetings, to volunteer for committees, and even run for office is all the legacy I could ever hope for. Knowing there are community members who are motivated to pick up where I'm leaving off and continue this journey is allowing me to step away knowing our district and community are in good hands, even if there is still a lot of work to do. I've made a few observations lately that give me tremendous hope for the future. I learned that millennials have recently overtaken baby boomers as the largest generation. Over the past few weeks, I've watched students lead protests and disrupt the traditional ways of legislating in Tennessee to push for gun reform so that they can feel safe in schools and in society. And I was shocked to learn that Canelan has elected a 19-year-old college student with only 291 votes as a write-in candidate to sit on their newly elected school board just a few weeks ago. I'm sharing this with you because I want young folks out there, those in our schools now and those who have graduated, to know that they can change the way things are done. Just because things have always been done one way doesn't mean we have to continue on the same path. You are the ones who have to live with the decisions made by our elected officials. Your local government controls a lot of things that contribute to your daily experience, from streets and sanitation to how well your neighbors are educated to what amenities we offer in our community and who has access to them are mostly determined by your city council, school board, park district board, and library board. This past election, only the school board and park district had contested races. As I mentioned earlier, it's surprisingly easy to get on a ballot, and often you don't have competition. Okay, I'm almost done. In conclusion, I want to leave you with this plan. Step 1, educate yourself on how our elected bodies run. Attend meetings or watch them online. Make an effort to introduce yourself to elected officials and administrators. Get to know them if you can. Watch and learn about what they discuss and how they make decisions. Step 2, use your voice to let them know if you have suggestions or concerns. Learn how to follow the chain of command. Don't be afraid to escalate your concerns if you don't receive the resolution you're seeking. Send emails. Speak at public comments. Request meetings with the public officials to speak with them one-on-one. They are your neighbors and most want to serve you the best ways that they can. They're just waiting for your feedback. Step 3, volunteer to help. Ask if you can be on a committee. Offer solutions to problems you see. Fill out the surveys. Participate in the focus groups. See if there are ways you can use your voice to influence our future. Step 4, run for office. The best way to make a difference is to be in the room where the decisions are made. Take what you've learned in steps 1 through 3 and help us create a welcoming community for all, where more opportunities make a better life for everyone. Be the change you want to see in the world. With your leadership, I am optimistic our community will only get better. Thank you for tolerating me for the past 8 years. I'm not going anywhere, but the next time you see me, I'll be speaking from the other side of this desk. Perhaps I will see you in the audience here or at one of our other governing bodies. Together, we can build a better Batavia. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Karen.
Well, I just want to take a few moments to thank a laundry list of people. Lisa, Brad, Steve, Cindy, Tony, Holly, Todd. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed every moment of working with each and every one of you, and it's been a journey. And like Chris said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and the destination is constantly changing. And so the one destination that remains constant, though, is the students. And I'm really, really proud that this board and our leadership is so student-focused, because that's why we're all here. I want to thank my peers here, Chris, RJ, Craig, Sue, and Aaron, specifically and first, for serving alongside me. It's been the honor of a lifetime, truly, it has. And all of the things that I did and accomplished before I came here brought me here. All of those steps enabled me the opportunity to serve in this way, and I am forever thankful for that. Truly, truly I am. And I just want to say a few words specifically about Kathy. Kathy, you know, many of you know in this room actually, that one of the biggest reasons I ran is because I felt strongly, very, very strongly, that the elementary schools needed a voice on the board. I was not shy about that, and I was not quiet about that. And it was not very popular on the board at that time. And I wouldn't let it go. I would say things like, we have 6 other schools. We need to think about the elementary schools. And Kathy said, I'll never forget it, she's right. We do. And I will be forever thankful for that, because it really was a turning point. And we did a lot of really, really great things that I think focused on the elementary schools, because at the end of the day, if we don't get it right at those 6 schools, it makes it much, much harder later to get it right at the middle school and the high school. And so I just want to thank you, Kathy, for helping elevate my voice, because although my voice frequently shakes, I am very, very deliberate in what I say. I don't often speak, but when I speak, I feel people listen, because they know that I'm thoughtful in my approach, and I've taken a long journey to get here. And I want to thank you for supporting that, because I really do think our elementary schools are better for it, and ultimately our high school and middle school is better for it. So thank you for that. And thank you for always, always listening to me say, but what about mental health? But how are the kids doing emotionally? How are the kids feeling? Because that, to me, is the most important thing. And I also know that that's not always the most popular thing to say. But it's true. Because if our kids aren't healthy here, they cannot learn. They cannot function. They cannot be socially healthy. And I want to thank this board for always supporting me bringing that up. So thank you. And thank you for everyone that believed in me and enabled me the opportunity to serve in this way. I, like Chris, would encourage anyone and everyone to find the courage to run for library, park district, school board, city council, PTO, PTA, anything, because that's what makes a community great, is all the different personalities, all the different viewpoints. That's what makes us stronger. So, thank you. And that's it.
Thanks, Erin. Those of you who are school board meeting junkies probably are aware that I actually rarely speak at the end of a meeting. But tonight I'm going to. I have been on this school board for 12 years, and for 10 of those years, I have sat in this chair as president. And I did, as Sue alluded to, talk to some of our former board members about the things that over that history of time, they were most proud of. And I'm going to start with the fact that almost the first thing I did, as school board president, was get to welcome Dr. Lisa Hitchens as our new superintendent. And so one of the most meaningful things for me personally is the fact that Lisa and I had almost the exact same tenure. The time she was superintendent, I was president, and that was probably one of the most meaningful opportunities for me to grow in my life. Those of you who know my story know that I have been so passionate and so in love with work as a school board member that it led me to going back to school 10 years ago and getting a math degree, and 6 years ago I started teaching high school math. Apparently, I've heard from the Illinois Association of School Boards, they've heard a lot of teachers becoming school board members. I'm the first one they know that has done it the other way. Some other things that other school board members have mentioned, and some of my own experiences, hiring Lisa. As Sue mentioned, we brought Chromebooks to all students in the district, and we were actually better prepared than a lot of our neighbors when we were hit with the unexpected difficulties of COVID. We created this amazing partnership with the boosters and put in a turf field. And for a landlocked school, this tiny patch of land went from being used a handful of times a year to being used literally constantly. We have probably the best dual credit programs anywhere. And many of us on this board have had children that have gone to college. My own daughter is going to graduate her undergraduate in 3 years, thanks to her dual credits. We were one of the first schools to focus on social emotional learning and spearheaded a lot of that focus, and that just ties right into what Erin was talking about with mental health. We had a huge growth in AP class offerings. We've had all of these authentic learning experiences, including our partnership with Wabanzi Community College for their manufacturing program. We got kids back in the building during COVID, despite some very strong objections from some of our stakeholders, because we recognized that kids needed to be in our buildings. We've repeatedly been named one of the top one of the top music education schools in the state, and we were recently named one of the top 25 schools in the state for athletics. Those are all amazing things we've done. One of the things that, as a person who originally had a business background, that I am most proud of, that I think is some of the most important work we did, and sadly, Tony Iglesias not here to hear this tonight, but we owe him a debt of gratitude. Our finances have taken, we turned the Titanic, people. We went from a form of financial warning to now we are a school district with financial recognition. We don't have to issue tax anticipation warrants any longer in the spring. We have changed our insurance program so that we are actually incentivizing the behavior that is good for our employees, that gives them the opportunity to make good health decisions, have great coverage, but also do it in a way that saves all of us money. We created a new salary schedule that I know is often confusing to our employees, but truly when you dig into the numbers, and if you want to dig into the numbers, Tony can help you, shows that we are paying people more money, less money out of pocket to have that professional development that gets you raises, and that's something else I'm really proud of. And the reason why these things are important is twofold. We are financial stewards for our community. How we spend our money is extraordinarily important. Even more important than that is all of those things have allowed us to offer so many of these opportunities to kids. We have community preschool, we have elementary school supplies at no cost to parents, we have electives that we've been able to offer, we have a full day kindergarten experience. The list of things that we have done in the past 10 years, once I started getting input from other people, was amazing. So I'm incredibly proud of the work that we did. And one last comment I want to make, and I think this is a huge tribute to Dr. Hitchens. There has been one constant for the 10 years that I've been on the board. People come and people go. Our 4 senior managers have been the exact same 4 managers all 10 years. That is unheard of. I had the incredible privilege of working with Steve Pierce, Dr. Newkirk, our newly minted Dr. Iglesias, and Dr. Lisa Hitchens for 10 years. They are probably 10 of the best years of my life, the best work that I ever had a chance to do. So thank you guys. Those are my comments. I would entertain a motion for us to adjourn sine die.
Have to clap for you.
All right, now I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Locke,
Second.
Nobody wants to say.
second by Lowe.
Don't want to
All in
have-
favor?
Aye.
All right, we will adjourn. We'll have just a momentary recess as we move people around and people say goodbye and then
Right.
we'll
Take your gavel. I don't know where you're gonna use Call to order the special meeting for the reorganization of the Board of Education at 7:51 PM. And so our very first order of business before we call roll is to swear in the new members that are sitting up here on the board. So I'm gonna turn that over to Craig Meadows, who didn't get to speak at the last meeting. We're gonna let him speak at this meeting, so you're gonna go ahead and swear them in.
All right. So as I mentioned to everybody, I'm gonna kind of read just each bold. You guys just respond back. All of you will read together, just so we're on there. Do you want to
They
stand
had
up?
to stand up there.
Yeah.
We all had to.
Go ahead, all of you. Let's do.
And kind of face the audience.
Face the
Okay,
audience?
good, yes,
Perfect.
please.
Is this good enough for you? Okay. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Batavia School District in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of a member of the Board of Education of Batavia School District in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that as a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
As a part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation in the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for the Batavia School District.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation in the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for the Batavia School District.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of our students and our community schools to advance the vision for Batavia School District. And
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of our students and our community schools to advance the vision for Batavia School District. And
I shall strive to work together with the school district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision of the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
Congratulations.
Cindy, will you call the roll of the new board, please?
Rob Armando,
Here.
Raquel Gonzalez Thomas,
Here.
Aaron Gilbert,
Here.
Sue Locke,
Here.
RJ Mathis,
Here.
Craig Meadows,
Present.
Danielle Slagar.
Here.
Right, the role of the board president is normally to run the meetings. We are currently without a board president. This is the reorganization meeting, so to launch this meeting, someone has to be selected to serve as the temporary president and temporary secretary. And so I would recommend, I would actually entertain a motion to appoint Lisa Hitchens, that's me, as president pro tem, and Cindy Rodriguez as secretary pro tem. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Oh, that is so exciting. Moved by Mathis, second. Second?
Second.
Second by.
Second.
You were
You
first.
can't say.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? The motion passes, so just temporarily, I am the board president. So our very first order of our business is the favorite thing that we do as a Board of Education, and that is to celebrate our students. So thank you for your patience. I'll call up Miss Kathleen Terry-Ton right now to celebrate our graphics students.
Hello. I'm Kathleen Terry-Ton, graphic communications teacher here at BHS. We have recently updated the program offerings for graphic communications, which is part of both the fine arts and career and technical education departments. In order to better reflect the career possibilities in design, we continue to refine our classes and curriculum. The new courses that ran this year included Game Art and Design, which you can imagine has been a blast. Students have been learning about storytelling and design within an ever-growing industry while advancing their design and communication skills. We took a field trip, thanks to funding provided by the CTE grants, to an independent arcade in downtown Aurora. Not only did they get to play a range of classic and modern arcade video games, how cool, and yes, you can all come next year, but they got to learn about how they work and even see the inside of a pinball machine while talking to the arcade technician. Emerging Technologies also ran for the first time this year, which included units of study on user interface design, motion graphics, product design, and augmented reality. Each of these projects offered students a chance to learn more about possible career pathways related to design. The Future Creative Professionals Club, which I sponsor, recently took a trip to learn more about creative professions through local partnerships in the area. 15 students visited Wilson Street Mercantile and Water Street Studios here in town and Rule 29 in Geneva. It is so powerful to have these collaborations and partnerships. One of our best supporters is Valleys, which is an organization based out of Waubonsee Community College and helps support the area CTE programs. Each year, Valleys organizes a team-based challenge in design where each school is partnered with professional mentors while they work on a design prompt that culminates in competition. The competition itself includes 2 components, a team challenge and a portfolio one. You guys can come up here now. This year, our seniors, Lucas Rohan and Eric Perkins, teamed up to create branding for a fictional record store. They were partnered with Gail Gabota, the Batavia Park District's graphic designer, and Jesse Skirty, an area freelance graphic designer and college instructor, as their mentors. Are you pulling up some gorgeousness? All right. Lucas and Eric worked on this for about a month. Would you say a month? As part of their graphics internship class, which is another one of the classes that has emerged from our kind of reconstruction, because they were doing independent studies and they're doing real stuff. And so I really wanted on their transcript for it to say internship, because that's what they're doing. They're working for people in the world. So that was one of our cool course changes. See, I went off script. Now I gotta find my spot. Okay. So they worked on this for about a month as part of their graphics internship during term 3, and then presented their work along with their individual portfolios to a team of industry professionals. The judges were impressed with their design work, the consistency of their brand, the connection to historical and contemporary design trends, and their attention to detail. Competing against teams from 4 other schools, Lucas and Eric were selected as the winners for this year's Graphic Communications Team of the Year. Woo! So much to celebrate as Lucas and Eric continue their education next year in the design field after being part of the graphics program for these past 4 years. And what a 4 years it was to study design. That was an interesting semester in spring of 2020. As they go on, I'm going to miss them so much. Eric Perkins is off to the University of Cincinnati next year to study digital media, and Lucas Frohan is headed to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign to major in graphic design. Congratulations, guys. Holly's clicking through them presenting at Wabanzi, showing off their stuff. Little secret, they won because they wore their T-shirts. So they did a great job, and it was beautiful work, and they are a pleasure. And currently, Lucas is working on a map for the Batavia Community Garden Group, and so hopefully we'll see that up this summer down at the Riverwalk. And you also, did I say Eric? Did I say Lucas? Okay. And the banners are coming too, so that's fun. So thank you, guys. And then I've got one more celebration, but I don't think Rachel's here unless she's hiding in the back somewhere. You can sit or you can stand. Another great opportunity we had this year was to participate in the Community Flag Contest sponsored by the Batavia Chamber of Commerce. This project emerged out of a great idea to create a community flag for residents and businesses to unite around all the great things about being a Batavian. I presented this contest to my introductory graphics classes, and the students created a fantastic range of designs. As part of the committee, sponsored by the Chamber, I was able to kind of review all of the submissions and was forced to vote, which were over 100 submissions from designs of all ages and experiences. From the submissions, the committee worked down to 10 finalists, which will be on exhibit in Limestone during the month of June, and included a total of 5, out of the 10, 5 of them were current or former BHS graphics students. And from those designs, the design submitted by BH graphics student and current sophomore Rachel Agro was chosen as the winner. So congratulations to Rachel. Rachel's design is professional with a clear communication of the strong aspects of our community, the river, the windmill history, and I look at it and I just think the optimism of our community comes out too, and that's something that I love as a parent, community member, and educator here in the community. The flags are available for purchase from the Chamber, and they will be soon all over the community. They're popping up now, and they are so beautiful in real life. You're just gonna love them if you haven't seen them yet. And congratulations to them all. Thank you.
Kathleen?
Yes.
And because I asked for this to be included in our celebration,
Thank you,
because
Sue.
I was so impressed, and Marty, sorry Marty's not here to hype this up a little bit more, but there were submissions for this from worldwide. So it was done like kind of blind voting, and so just to have it won by a Batavia High School student is amazing. All ages, but there were submissions from around the world, and to have it, come down to a Batavia High School student, we thought was amazing. So, and Batavia, the Chamber, you can order it through there, and proceeds do go to the Flag Monument.
So you'll be seeing it all summer. They're going to be down there.
There's is it
Celebration
like
and the
3
march.
by 5, and then there's also a yard size one.
Yep.
So, thank you though. But
You're welcome.
I was so pleased that I went to a high school student. So,
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for celebrating your program and our students. Next comments, we'd like to invite our partners, Todd Swanson from the Batavia Education Association and Marcia Schuster. Are you coming? Yes. With the Batavia Educational Support Professional Association. And they invited some special guests as
We
well.
did. Yeah, retirees, come on out. Hi, everyone. First off, I want to introduce Marcia Schuster, who is the incoming VESPA president, and you're going to see a lot of her at our board meetings. We're going to do a lot of work together through BEA and VESPA moving forward. So I just wanted to welcome Marcia and take this opportunity tonight to recognize some very special people as well that are retiring and leaving our district this year after many, many years of service. So that's these people you see standing before you. So Marcia and I are both going to do a little bit of recognition for them at this time. And I do have to apologize to them because I kind of enticed the retirees to come tonight. I said, well, I usually give my talk around 7:10, about 7:30. And so they're all looking at their watch. So thank you guys for sticking it out. So I appreciate it. Good evening, members of the board. Tonight, both the BEA and VESPA come before you to celebrate and congratulate. Standing with Marcia and myself are some of the incredible people who will be retiring from their service to BPS next month. Altogether, with the 10 BEA retirees, and I think there's 8 VESPA retirees, these amazing educators and support staff have worked in BPS for a combined total of 378 years. Some of our retirees are here with us tonight, but we do want to take time to recognize all of our amazing staff members who will be retiring at the end of the 22-23 school year. So I'll let Marcia start with VESPA.
Thanks, Todd. So my name is Marcia Schuster, and I'm the Vice President currently of VESPA. I'm pleased to announce that this year's VESPA retirees tonight at this meeting. I want to thank them for their dedication, professionalism, and commitment to Batavia Public Schools all these years. They will most certainly be missed by all their coworkers and friends that they worked with along the way, and I wish them nothing but the best in their future endeavors. So the retirees for VESPA are Tim Beckers in Buildings and Grounds for 14 years, Sophia Bertha Mandarino, she's a special ed para at the high school, 14 years, Deborah Ewert, special ed para at BHS, 16 years, Karen Logadice, special ed para at JB Nelson, 19 years. Deborah Nearad, special ed para at BHS, 18 years. Sherry Polis, special ed para at BHS, 23 years. Denise Traskis, special ed para at Louise White, 21 years. And Michael Weiss, right there, building custodian at JB Nelson, 9 years.
And for our BEA retirees, we actually have 10 that are retiring this year from BEA. We have Kelly Cook, who's the LRC director at the middle school, who's been with the district for 19 years. Brian Drendel, who's a science teacher at the high school, has been here for 32 years in Batavia. Joe Franz, who is a social studies teacher at the high school, has been here for 33 years. Donna Hanrahan, right here, is the LRC director from Louise White School, and she's been in Batavia for 16 years. Meg Lincoln is a special ed teacher at the high school and has 22 years in the district. Diane O'Haron, who is at the middle school as a communications teacher and interventionist, has been in the district for 33 years. Christine Sheffert, who is first grade this year at Louise White, but many other hats in the district as well. Christine has 28 years in the district. Audrey Slana, who is our speech and language person at Louise White School, has been in the district for 30 years. Barb Spence, who is Grace McWayne kindergarten teacher and Kane County Educator of the Year last year, 21 years in Batavia. And lastly is Walt Zimmer, who is the music teacher at Louise White School, and he has been in the district for 33 years. And if you heard me say Louise White School several times, they're taking a big hit this year. So congratulations to all of our retirees. And I just wanted to thank you all for your time and dedication to the thousands of BPS students that you have impacted and made a difference in their lives in your time here with us in Batavia. You've seen many changes in staff, educational trends, curriculum, and you even learned how to still connect with students and help them learn and grow through a pandemic filled with virtual learning. It is an honor to present you all to the board tonight in celebration and recognition of your upcoming retirement. We wish you all the best in whatever this next chapter brings for you. We also know there happens to be another retirement in the room, and that is someone from RJAC as well. But we do have a few more meetings with Dr. Hitchens, so our message to her will be forthcoming in the months ahead. So at this time, I'd like to thank the retirees for coming tonight, and congratulations on your retirement. Ann? And though not officially retirement, but a change for them and our district as well, and our next celebratory and congratulatory moment is with our past board members who have either stayed, like Chris, or for Aaron and Kathy as well. Aaron's here, yay, thanks, Aaron. So Aaron, Chris, and Kathy, both the BEA and BESPA would like to thank you for your service and to the community, the staff of BPS 101, but most importantly, to the students of BPS. The role and time commitment of a board member is at times demanding, overwhelming, and frustrating, but at the same time can be rewarding, enlightening, and gratifying. In your tenure on the board, you've celebrated district and student successes, you've mourned the loss of staff and students alike, and you too had to find it within yourselves on how best to navigate a worldwide pandemic as members of our Board of Education. A thank you is nowhere near enough to acknowledge the time and dedication that you all put into your role as board members. But please know, we all truly do thank you for your time and service to BPS, and we wish you well in whatever and wherever the road of life takes you next. Lastly, to our newly elected board members, Raquel, Rob, and Danielle, congratulations. Your heart and drive, paired with the experience and leadership of RJ, Craig, Sue, and Aaron, will help you become a cohesive and transformative voice in working with all district stakeholders for our ultimate goal, the ultimate and absolute best educational experiences and opportunities for the children of Batavia. Combine this with the arrival of Tom Kim as our next superintendent, there truly is a new day dawning in BPS. And just as this portion of the board meeting is called, BPS Partners Working Together, we have the collective responsibility to help build back trust through transparency and collaboration. Change is never easy, but more often than not, the results of those changes turn out better than we even anticipated. We anticipate a great working relationship with this new board and our new superintendent as BPS moves forward into this next new chapter. Again, to our retirees, enjoy your retirement. You've dedicated your lives to your students, their families, your colleagues, and your district. Now, it's time for yourselves. Once again, congratulations to all of those making a life change in the very near future. Thank you.
Okay, we have some action items, and that would be to elect, we have 4 officers on the board, and 3 of them are elected positions, so we'll be doing that right now. And the first position that we need to fill is the role of the president. The most obvious role would be their most obvious thing that you would see the president do would be to run the board meetings. They look over the agenda, and there is a whole host of responsibilities that are listed in the board policy. So at this time, I would like to open nominations for the office of president. So if you would like to nominate someone, you can nominate yourself or someone else. I'll take those names.
I would like to nominate Craig Meadows for president.
I'll second that.
So I will take any nominations for the office of president. Are there any other nominations? Okay, the nomination window has closed, and seeing that Craig Meadows is the only candidate nominated for the office of president, I declare Craig Meadows as the president of the Board of Education. You want to swap out your name? Wait there.
I will, but Rob can stay there for a minute.
Okay. One of your rules is to, we'll talk tomorrow, but you have to figure out where everybody sits up here, so that's one of your jobs.
Open to suggestions.
All right.
I'm gonna sit here.
All right, we also have the next position that we will elect is vice president. And vice president steps in should the president be absent, and there's a few other roles in the policy as well. So I will open up the window for nominations for vice president. So if anyone would like to nominate themselves or someone else, I would like to hear their names.
I would like to nominate Mr. Aaron Kilberg for vice president.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations? All right, we will close that nomination window. This is easy. Seeing that Aaron Kilberg is the only candidate that was nominated for office of vice president, I declare Aaron Kilberg as the vice president of the Board of Education. And then we have one more position, and that is the board secretary. Again, the responsibilities are listed in board policy. Make sure that all the documents are prepared, all the minutes are accurate, and is the official signer of the board decisions that are made. So I would now open up nominations for the office of secretary. Would anybody like to nominate anyone or themselves for the office of secretary?
I would like to nominate Sue Locke for board secretary.
Are there any other nominations? All right, the window has closed, so seeing that Sue Locke is the only candidate nominated for the office of secretary, I declare Sue Locke as the secretary of the Board of Education.
Joy.
All right, there's one more officer in, Mr. President, is it okay if I keep going? or-
Oh, have
okay.
at.
Okay, because I wasn't sure who it is, so I do have notes
Who
prepared.
was it?
Oh, no, the treasurer is a nomination, not a, no, I was saying for the president, I do have notes if you want to take over the meeting at this point. So the position of the treasurer of the board is an official officer, but it has some very specific qualifications. They have to have the ability to compile monthly reports, and they have to be properly bonded. And the treasurer, the board can appoint a non-board member for the office of treasurer, and this board has always appointed the CFO as the treasurer. So I would entertain a motion to appoint Dr. Tony Inglesi as treasurer of the Board of Education.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, this is hard. Moved by Kilberg, second by Locke. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, so then our next order of business, we have one more agenda item. Do you want me to just keep going with the
If
rest
you want
of
me to
it?
take over with the notes, I can. I don't want to
No, I
run
can.
afoul.
These are the last agenda items, so why don't you look those over, but I will, I'll at least start the next one. So the last vote that this board needs to take tonight is to set the dates and times for the regular meetings of the Board of Education. And you're required in your policy to set those dates in the spring for the following year so that in full transparency, everybody knows when your meetings are happening. And the way that we put together this calendar is just by tradition. We pick a Tuesday every month. And for payroll purposes, because you approve of the payroll, they need a little time to prepare that. And so we pick the date that is on or after the 19th of the month. And there might be an exception for holidays, but for the most part, the meetings are all on a Tuesday, that's the 19th or after. That's tradition. And so those dates have been in the board book previously. And is there any discussion about that?
Wasn't there an issue with like a November, December date?
I had asked about it, but was convinced that we can't move it because it impacts the other dates too much.
But there was an
Oh,
issue with
because,
payroll or something.
Well, they said they can do that,
It's
they would
okay.
be prepared, yeah.
It's okay.
And then
All right.
RJ's concern is that there would be too short of a time between the two meetings, but there's gonna be a short turnaround in either direction.
I was just more concerned with payroll.
The payroll
but
said they can do it
that's
like a
fine. Okay.
one-time thing. Yep.
Then it's
Any other questions?
I'll throw one thing out there for a discussion, but I know transparency has been an issue with the board, and it came to my attention during my tenure that, like, for example, over this evening, every governing body in Batavia is currently having a meeting right now. I'm not sure if they're still going, but they're having a meeting. And I know the city council meets 4 times a month, and they kind of rotate between a Monday and a Tuesday meeting. And the library board, I know, meets on a Monday and a Tuesday. So I thought, we might not have enough time to discuss it now, but I thought it might be open to discussion to perhaps moving our meeting to a Monday instead of a Tuesday. Now, I know with the payroll, that might, I don't want to put any more undue pressure on the team to put the reports together. But theoretically, I guess if somebody in the community wanted to attend all these meetings, it might be still impossible, but, you know, like tonight, they wouldn't have to pick from one of four. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and at least wanted the community to hear that it's something that we're aware of. And, I mean, these are broadcast on BATV, so it is accessible at a later date. But I just wanted to throw out there if that was something that was of interest to anyone else on the board. If it's not, I don't have any problem keeping the schedule as presented.
I have no interest in moving it, but
Okay.
just
It's a
for
great
my own
observation.
personal
Yeah,
schedule, but
it's a good observation. I mean,
Yeah.
From my perspective, I'd like to figure out how we can make that something that can happen, whether that's maybe special meeting nights, or we figure out if there's ways we can adjust as we move forward to be able to integrate us, you know, and allow people to participate, or have them participate in some of our meetings occasionally. So I think that's something we need to look at as we move forward.
I would
I'm not
be
sure we can do it tonight.
curious to know how many people watch it at other times. And I know, Holly, that can be done, can't it?
Not on television, but when
But on
we
the-
would put them on the
on the
YouTube.
website.
Yeah, they're up on YouTube, yeah.
And that, people do watch that,
Yes, they
right?
do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Hundreds. 5. No.
We're usually around.
No, but there,
a
I
couple
mean,
hundred.
so, does that mean people aren't attending because they can't, so they watch, or it's just convenient, so people watch?
Probably a little both.
I think it's both, so.
I like the idea of just for more interaction between us and the other groups.
That was my other thought, is
Yeah,
that we would
that
have
one.
an opportunity to attend some of their meetings, and like Craig was saying, vice versa.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to bring it to the board's attention.
Yeah, you can add special meetings at any time you need to give the public 48 hours notice.
Yeah, that can be done.
I think that's a good mechanism potentially that
Yeah.
we can explore.
Right.
But
All
we
right.
have to vote on this.
I would entertain a motion to approve the times and dates for the regular meetings as presented.
So moved.
Second,
Again,
Kilberg.
Kilberg.
Me.
Okay, moved by Kilberg, second by Locke. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. And we're allowed to do, for the new board members, the president is allowed to call just all in favor, that type of vote, without calling everybody's name, unless it's something financial, or some of the bigger votes will go individually, but in some of those routine things, you'll just hear the all in favor, and you just say yes or no. So, nice job. And then there isn't a closed session tonight, and so the last thing that we do traditionally is administration and board comment. So do you want to, I'll start because I'm first on the list.
Yeah, I was gonna let you go, and then
Yeah.
I'll call names after.
Yeah, I would just like to, on behalf of the entire staff, as superintendent, sometimes I get to speak for the staff, and I want to welcome all of you and thank you for this commitment that you've decided that you're willing to take. And I hope that you ask me and your fellow board members lots and lots of questions. There's no question that's too small, too silly. So please reach out to us a lot, because we need to bring you up to speed so that we can continue to just run and we don't have to pause, and the transition will be better for kids if we can just all get up to speed. So if you're afraid to ask a question, don't be. You can ask any of us questions, and then also the board president will be calling you and talking to you about mentorship. So you'll have a mentor that's assigned, that would be like your go-to person, but I know that these people would answer any questions, and so would I. So, welcome, and we really look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Next on our list, are you okay with throwing you right up in the?
Cross them off as-
Yep.
So, first of all, just thank you to the community for giving me this opportunity. I don't take this responsibility lightly. I'm going to do my best to represent the students, the teachers, the support staff, and the community as best as I can. And I look forward to working with the entire board here, and let's get some stuff done.
Raquel?
Yeah, so just, thanks to all the outgoing board members for their time of volunteering and, their dedication to the board. And thanks to the community for electing us three. I know we all try our best to listen to everyone, voice concerns and so forth. And also to the current board, I look forward to working with you all to make BPS a top-tier district. And as I look at this board, I'm glad that we have some representation. So, thank you.
Mr. Kilberg. All right, so I have a few remarks prepared. I feel like I talked way too much tonight, but I'll try to be brief. But Kathy touched on a couple of these things, but I usually like to end with some recognition, and there is a lot to celebrate. So just in like the last 4 or 5 days, WGN TV did recognize Batavia as a top 25 sports program throughout the entire state. If you go to WGNTV.com and type in best high schools for sports in Illinois, Batavia will come up there. There's a lot of parameters they used to determine that, but we're very proud of that. Kathy also mentioned our music program got recognized. So there's a foundation called the NAMM Foundation, N-A-M-M. It's a national foundation that advances active participation in music across the lifespan by supporting scientific research, philanthropic giving, and public service. And Batavia was one of 830 districts recognized throughout the entire country for their outstanding supportive music program. So we should be very proud of that. And then just today, I was on Twitter, and I saw that the women's varsity basketball coach, Kevin Jensen, was recognized by his peers in the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association as one of 57 winners recognized as a 2022-2023 High School Coach of the Year. So congratulations to Kevin and the girls and the staff. And then finally, I always do like to thank everybody at every meeting who attends, everybody who's here to the end. I appreciate that. Everybody who sends us an email, again, thank you for your participation in that. And 2 other things as far as we talked a lot about volunteerism. And we've got 2 examples of probably volunteerism at their best next week. We have prom. And, that takes a ton of volunteers to make sure that our kids can have a safe and fun evening. It's stressful for parents. It's stressful for administrators. We just want to make sure everybody comes out of it with a good experience. So I want to thank all those volunteers. And then we have Teacher Appreciation next week. And I know a lot of our community is going to reach out and do a lot of different types of events at the schools to show their appreciation for the teachers and the work they do. So I want to thank everybody who's going to do that and show our love to our teachers. They deserve it. And then finally, I just want to say we are in the stretch run. Next time we meet, we're going to be talking about commencement, which is emotional. I have a junior, so next year I'll probably be crying when I talk about this. But to our new board members, I got my first chance to participate, and it really is sort of, not that you need validation, but when you're up on that stage and you hear those students speak and you feel the energy and the pride of those parents, it's an emotional experience for everybody. So I look forward to that, but I will say we're just going to take it one day at a time and enjoy the rest of the steps in this journey, because that day will come very soon. So, thank you.
Sue?
I'd just like to congratulate the new board members and welcome and enjoy. So that's about it.
Yeah, welcome to the new board members. I really appreciate that you are all, servicing the community this way. It was really great to see 7 contestants in the last race, so congratulations on it. And also, I've been just thinking a lot about the high school kids that we've got prom coming up and then graduation. So for any student that's in their last month, I hope they all enjoy their last month of school here, because I know it's going to be really memorable for them. That's it.
And Danielle?
I'm definitely sitting with a lot of gratitude. Thank you so much for the outgoing board members for all of the work, and for everyone here. You guys, Lisa and the board, you guys have been a lot of help already, and I know you mean it when you say ask us any questions, and I really appreciate that. It's a lot to kind of take in at once, so it's been really helpful. I'm definitely ready for this opportunity and to serve the community. I think our Batavia spoke really loudly. Like we're ready for some representation, for a little bit more diversity, and we don't represent every group that's out there, but I can say with confidence, I feel that we're going to do everything that we can to serve the entire community and really make sure that every voice is thought about when we're making decisions and having conversations. So that's something I look forward to growing with you guys. I really think that we're going to be able to make some changes together with all of our diverse backgrounds, whether it be our cultural backgrounds, educational or professional. So we have a lot to bring to the table. It's really exciting. And I guess the last piece that I just want to have gratitude for is our working at the school for a little bit of time. It was completely different than volunteering in the PTO or helping in the classroom. I really got a chance to, work alongside some amazing people. And like this last month is going to be insane. So I just really want to say thank you to all of our staff for the push through. We see you, we appreciate you, we love you, and it was amazing to work with the students too. So I'm really excited to be on this side of things with them in mind. So yeah, I'm just a lot to take in, but a lot of gratitude.
And as, I guess, board president, I get to go last, which may have been a thinly veiled attempt to get me to not talk much, but it's not gonna work, Aaron. No, I'm just gonna say a couple of things. One, really, I want to be struck with a couple of things. As everybody was kind of giving speeches for or about our exiting board members, usually I get a chance to kind of fill my cup, as they say, when we hear all the kids talk about the things they do. But today, really for me, while the kids were doing good things, and I'll get to that in a minute, just hearing everybody talk about it and remind everybody about their kind of passions and what they learned and what they achieved while they were here is amazing. And one thing that as I've kind of talked to the new board members over the week, while I'm getting to know you guys, there's still little seeds and kernels that I see in each one of you that are kind of like filling that void here. So that there's people that had passions for things, and I see that in one of you, or an excitement for things, and I see that in one of you. So we are new people, but I think there's gonna be really good opportunities here, and I think we have every opportunity to see that moment and kind of bring it forward. One of those things I was gonna remark on, because as a person in the design profession, to be able to see that we have two instances today that our abilities to provide programs for kids to be able to interact with professionals and to do the work they do, that when you were looking at it, and this is, when I was in school, I interviewed kids for going into architecture and design school as a big D, right? Graphic design, landscape architecture, everything else. What I'm seeing that I remember seeing those kids almost 30 years ago were doing compared to what we're seeing here is amazing. And I would not know, as a person who sees professional graphic design work all the time, that those were done by high schoolers. It's that good. So congratulations to you. More importantly, congratulations to those kids. They worked hard for it. I've been there. I know how it works. And the fact that we gave them opportunities to kind of reach out is even better. So good job. And then lastly, to our retiring teachers, one thing that struck me, my kids went to Grace McWayne, and they did not have an opportunity to be in Barb Spence's class. But I want to let all of these teachers know that, while my kids weren't in there because of the collaboration and how they worked together and all those teachers, their presence was felt even though those kids weren't in their class. And that's one of the things I took out of Grace McWayne for my kids as they left. So with that, I am going to do one thing and say nothing about marching band this week. So.
I guess you don't like them anymore?
No, they didn't get rid of me.
Saving it all for
That's
the
the
end.
thing. So. And I'll wait till next week to cry because I have that kid that's graduating this year.
Got it.
So, thank you, everyone. And as Lisa said, there is no closed session today. So we will be, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved by Locke, second by Mathis. Thank you, everyone.
We have to all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, meeting is adjourned. Right, it's in.